someone feel uncomfortable or hurt someone emotionally, physically, anyway, that would make them feel bad about themselves or look at themselves in a different way and just not be who they are and see themselves in a different way. I think a bully really looks for someone who they know is vulnerable or someone who doesn't have that support system going for them, doesn't have a lot of people who would stick up for them, or knows that the people that would stick up for them won't do it, so that they can basically have total control over you. That's what happened, I think. People started just trying to fit in, trying to find something to talk about, and started escalating to a point where it was just better to just put it all on me, like make fun of me. I had one best friend ever since I could remember, like 5 years old. She was my best friend. About the second week of school, things started going south. She had joined the cheerleading team and had a whole different new group of friends, and like I wasn't included in that. I think the worst thing about it was that the girl I thought had been my best friend for as long as I could remember ended up turning on me and just starting to spread rumors about me and use everything that I had trusted her with against me. I think that's what started the spiral. She would tell her friends, and her friends would tell their friends, and before you knew it, it felt like, to me at least, like the whole school knew who I was. People would yell names at me, call me a slut, call me a whore, say that girl's such a bitch. It was very hard to even just go to school in the morning because I knew that it was like a gauntlet that I had to walk to get to my locker. It started getting worse where I would go to gym class, and while I was changing in the locker room, girls would watch me and point and laugh at me and make fun of me. I would go to the vice principal of the school, I would go to my gym teacher, I would go to adults, and this was really before, I guess, bullying became what it is today. They would brush me off. They would say, oh, like, don't worry about it, it'll get better, you know, we'll talk to them. They brought in the girls that were actually physically bullying me, like pushing me, scratching me in gym class, and brought them in while I was sitting there, so they knew that I had gone to the principal, and they walked in, denied everything, and the vice principal believed them, and that was it. I didn't really have someone that was very close to me to talk to about it, so I kept a lot of it in. I couldn't really bring my problems home with me because at the time my mom had cancer. It started getting a lot worse. I would go home and get text messages from unknown numbers and just like threats to my house. They would tell me like, oh, like you better get your dad's car in the garage, we're gonna come, we're gonna set the tires. They threatened to paintball my house and paintball my windows out. I would go on AIM, like instant messaging, when that was a thing, and people from screen names that I didn't know would basically start messaging me. They would take pictures off of social media and put them on Paint or something, and like draw pictures on it, make me look ridiculous, and just say really hateful things. They would say like how fat I was, how ugly I was. I would just beg them to tell me who they were. Like I had no idea that was the worst part of it, is that you don't even know who these people are and they hate you. I started making myself throw up. I felt like if I could make myself look better, if I could just be prettier, just be better, like be cooler, be more popular, be pretty, like it would stop. Like they would want to be my friend, it would be better. That's when I really realized that like this is something that needs to stop. I can't keep doing this to myself. I can't let this happen. I can't let my health get involved or start just hating myself. That's when I started talking to my parents about it. They immediately called the school when they found out what was going on and set up a conference with the vice principal. The only thing that they offered to do for me was have a campus police officer follow me around so that people would stop saying things to me. And I just don't know how that would make it anything better. I would be known as that girl who needs the cop to follow her around because she can't handle things on her own. I was lucky enough that my parents wanted to move and wanted to get me out of there as soon as possible. We moved out of the town, not very far, like 10 minutes away. I started my sophomore year of high school at a new school, and even though I was a new girl, like, I was accepted there. It was just hard to think that I had to change my whole life, basically, to get away from this. I went on, did really well in high school, joined a lot of clubs, did a lot of activities, ended up graduating with a 3.8 GPA and doing well in my SATs. I got into Seton Hall, got a scholarship here. I joined a sorority when I was here, and that was something that I feel like helped a lot because I found a group of women who accepted me for who I was and didn't expect anything from me or anything to change. It's taken me a long time to really be comfortable with talking about what happened to me or my experiences. I've learned to forgive the people that did these things to me. If you're in a bullying situation, you have to tell someone, because if you don't, you're just going to think it's your fault, and it's not your fault. It's never your fault. You can't let it ruin your life. Just know that it does get better. It doesn't go on forever. It's really hard when you're in it, and it seems like it's going to happen for the rest of your life. Everyone's going to hate you forever, and no one's ever going to accept you. But you can find people who do.